The manner in which several groups are rushing to Bomas to give their proposals to the bipartisan dialogue team really indicates that Kenya is ripe for a constitutional change. You know, for some times I had been wondering why Raila accepted these talks, because I thought they were a waste of time. And honestly, I still do, because it will not give Raila his win. I'm one person, by the way, honestly, who believes that Raila won the 2022 elections. No feelings. I just believe he won. I've got my reasons. And I thought that in the event that the talks are not going to give him his win, then it's a waste of time. But then I just realized that Raila had said one thing against the chagrin of his supporters, that it has not got to be Raila all the time. It must not be Raila. As an elder in the political field, he would want a level playing ground for the future generation, because he has been at the center of the fight for freedom and the expansion of the democratic space. Then I just realized that somehow the IEBC could have been cornered, because by their own admission that the servers can be opened, something is wrong. If there is one event that the IEBC will regret, is this one.
I've had people saying open the server. Under what circumstances would you open the server? Is there a legal framework allowing for that to happen or not?
Are the records, including the servers, available for inspection and audit by independent forensic auditors?
Are the servers available for forensic audit? Yes, I confirm they are available for forensic audit anytime. And also to clarify that they were used to process the exact replica of the physical forms that are available. So they are available to be compared with the physical forms and the electronic data in those servers. The role of the server, on the other hand, I wish to clarify, was nothing more than taking a replica of that physical form and availing it in the portal. That is why we are confident, even now, if an audit is to be done, you will basically be seeing those forms and the servers used to process them and confirm if those images of forms we had, the 46,201 of them, is the exact replica as they were signed in the polling station.
By their own admission that this server can now be scrutinized and a forensic audit be done, I'm telling you that there is going to be a stalemate. And this is why I believe there is going to be a stalemate. A few months ago, Raila revealed to the nation that he conducted what we call an ethical hacking. And this is what Raila said. We personally looked for IT gurus from abroad who could do investigations. There is something called ethical hacking, which is done with good intentions. They came with their own machines and they were located at Athi River. If you read the whole story, Raila says that they got the real result that was in the server and they have kept them somewhere. And this is the reason why all the time while he was going to the streets, all the time while he staged the demonstrations, he knew very well that any moment that server will be opened, they've got the true results. I went back to the archives, and in the 2022 presidential petition, when Jose Camargo had done his own things and he thought that now everything was okay, then we still found out that there were traces of Jose Camargo footpaths. And as the lawyer who was handling this case mentions or describes, she says, by the grace of God. Julie Soweto says that by the grace of God, they found footpaths. Just take a look.
Now, when we go to now the bombshell itself, the top left-hand corner of the form, we were told by my colleague, Mr. Gumbo, there were no foreigners in this election. We were told the foreigners left before the 8th of August. We were told they did not even have access to maintain the server. This is on the 9th of August, and at the top left-hand corner there is the name of one of the Venezuelans, Jose Camargo. This is the person who decided the president-elect of the country. It is on the IEBC portal. It is live. How did that come there? What are you doing? This person is the one who was interfering with the forms. We are able to demonstrate, at least a crumb was left. By God's grace, we found something. We didn't make this up. We were told we forged these documents. Now, this is how, my lords, the staging was happening. This is how the changes were happening. This is on the 9th of August. We were told they were not there. I'm going to do, because of time,
with your permission, Your Ladyship.
I beg your pardon. In our petition,
You let her finish and then you tell us what it is. They're responding.
It relates to an objection to what she's doing, Your Ladyship.
No, let her finish.
my ladies, my lords, that name, Jose Camargo Gregorio, appears in our petition, and is also, that evidence is also found in the affidavit of the second petitioner, one of the people whom we complained about as having interfered in the election and who were told had no access. Ladies and my lords, the manner in which the election was stolen, the reason why staging was necessary was forms were intercepted like this. Whoever intercepted them then had time to decide which ones they could manipulate before uploading them and sending them to the IBC portal. The other reason that we know there was manipulation is because the original Form 34A is a colored form that should have appeared at the National Tallying Center if transmitted in one transaction as a colored form. All the forms that are on the IBC portal are in black and white. At what point were they altered from JPEG to PDF? When did that modification happen? And what other modification was done to the form? We submit to you that we have shown that not only was it possible, it did happen, and the fingerprints of those who interfered in the systems are still there. Thank you for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this in mind, Raila says that he's got his own results, courtesy of the ethical hacking, Jose Camargo and the IEBC have got their own result, courtesy of their mischievous hacking, and the fact that traces can always be found, because if they were that careful, and they knew very well that this would end up at the Supreme Court, traces of Jose Camargo wouldn't have been left around. And this tells you that in as much as they are wise, in as much as they might think that they wipe away their footprints, you still realize that they left something. Whether it is by the grace of God, I don't know. But you realize that they left something. So when we get to what we now call forensic auditing, and if they say that it will be independent auditors, I don't know how independent they will be, because we can't pick them from the US. Obviously, they will be working for William Ruto. I still don't know the criteria they will be using, because I know Azimio will have their own IT gurus. The Kenya Kwanza will have their own IT gurus. And then we will have independent, those who are neither Azimio nor Kenya Kwanza. But it's very difficult to have people who are very neutral. There will be some mistakes. So maybe Raila can decide that I want to pick some gurus from China or Russia. Ruto will pick some from the USA. That is where there will be a stalemate. Because once they scrutinize, I was talking to an IT guru who was telling me that it's not just opening the server as you put it. I did an analysis and he was telling me, don't put it as if it is just opening the server. It is forensic auditing. It will show that on such a date, something was changed. On such a time, something was changed. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with Raila on this side with his result, William Ruto on this side with his results, they are going to lock horns. They are going to be a stalemate, one that will be very difficult to resolve. And I have a feeling that if we are not careful, Boma's talks that are supposed to, it's named dialogue. It might go beyond dialogue, because it might even leave us more divided than united. Because I want you to imagine, Raila will come out and say, the servers have been opened, and here we can identify on this date Jose Camargo, just the same way Julius Soweto identified the traces of Jose Camargo. He deleted this, he replaced this with this, he changed this number, he took some from Raila and gave to. I want you to imagine, in the presence of the IT gurus, and they identify that there's a problem here, there's a problem. Then the other question that will come is maybe the loopholes and the hitches, like Gidumi Guy was saying in my penultimate video, if you saw it, that there are always hitches, but they don't warrant nullification of the whole result. That question will be. And then that is where problem will start. Because Raila will come back with people, and with the Azimio supporters charged, they will say, give us our victory. And William Ruto will say, I'm already sworn in. I cannot give power. It is mine. I won fair and square. What do you think will happen? We are headed for a disaster. And someone told me, let that server be opened, because I had thought that maybe when it is opened, the result, because they have interfered with it, will simply show that William Ruto won. But I thought for a minute of the ethical hacking, and I realized that Raila has got his own results. And I realized that maybe he knows why he's getting into what many people feel is a trap, to open an already doctored server that has got results. What do you think will happen? What will it be like? I want you to imagine that it is done in public, and we are watching it on Citizen TV, K24 Nation. We are watching it on KTN, TV47. I want you to imagine on all the local TV stations, and maybe Al Jazeera is there, and CNN, and people are watching it, and they identify in the full glare of camera that here was a problem, here was a problem. What do you think will happen if at all that is the case? I'm not an IT expert. What do you think will happen? And this is why I'm telling you that these talks, if at all there's going to be scrutiny and forensic audit of the IEBC servers that were used in 2022, as the IEBC had admitted, they might regret this. Already you saw Chebukati was scared of going back to Bomas. It reminds him of the dirty things that happened. He did not want to gauge on questions and answers that he knows very well are obvious. He didn't want to gauge people like Cherera, Masit, Nyangaya, because Nyangaya actually destroyed Chebukati. Things are getting thicker, and where we are headed might not be juicy as we think. That server is a thorn in the flesh. That server is hot potato. I don't think it's gonna be easy. Not unless Raila was just talking. But if he was serious about ethical hacking, if he was serious when he came back from South Africa and he was telling us he knows very well he won the elections, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be tight. What happens when push comes to shove? You can always guess.